are back. We are back. BGG is in the house. We have
BGG.
special guest, Mr. Jerome Carter. We are here right now with this gentleman. He's amazing. So, Jerome, give us a little background about you, sir.
Oh my gosh. As you get older, the little background gets longer and longer, right?
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, yeah, number one, I'm thrilled to be here. Thank you so much, Rob and Kimmy, for having me. But I'm a LA boy, born and raised LA County General Hospital. Um, Only lived two places in my life, the projects, the Pueblos, until I was three. And then my mom and dad, we moved on up to the west side and over on 35th and Western, right over by USC and the Coliseum. My mom still stays there. Um, my dad passed in '05, but yeah, we've been there since I was 3 years old, which is a long time. So I went to schools in LAUSD, 36th Street School, Fauché Junior High School, Man Yards High School. Was fortunate enough to go to college after that. So I went to Royal Marymount University, but just stumbled onto it. Didn't plan on going to college. Thought I would be a professional baseball player. And so you know how that works, Rob. You go to Dodger Stadium, you say, hey, I'm here to play ball. They sign you, and then you start playing ball. So that's how I thought it worked. So, yeah, and received Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior at 17. So I
All
did
right.
have some issues growing up with the gangs, the violence, all that kind of stuff. And thank God I was rescued at 17. Otherwise, I wouldn't be here today. But oh, and then the other thing too, just I was, when I graduated from college, I had a business degree, but my calling was in teaching and coaching. So I took the um, took the CBES, was able to get an emergency credential and start teaching. So I started teaching in Compton Unified in fourth grade. That's 35 years ago. So glad I became a teacher, had the opportunity to touch lives literally all around the world through teaching. And so I taught in Compton, LA Unified, was an administrator in Long Beach Unified, taught with LA County Office of Education, the court schools, the camp schools, probation schools. I was fortunate enough to teach at Loyola Marymount University, their School of Education. And I'm currently teaching at Loyola Marymount University, their School of Education, and Cal State Fresno, their School of Education. And if that wasn't enough, I'm pastoring a beautiful church in Long Beach called South Bay Abundant Life Church. So the little background, Kimmy, it gets longer and longer, but
All right.
it's just growing up with my mom and dad, and it was 8 kids, 6 boys, and two girls. We
Wow.
were wired to multitask. So,
Wow.
you know,
Good.
it's like my mom would ask me in high school, son, you're playing ball, you're doing this, you're doing that. I said, Mom, I just like doing a bunch of stuff. So now when I look back on my life, I'm doing a bunch of stuff, but I've always just been
Mhm.
wired to
Yeah.
do a bunch of stuff and try and do it well, right? My thing is the things that you do them well.
You've been well.
Yeah.
Things I
Right.
don't know how to do, I'm going to find somebody to help or to do that for me.
Yeah.
But the things I do, I try my best to do them well.
Hey,
Nice.
I want to jump in on when we met, uh, it was probably about 3 weeks ago now. And it was an amazing day. And we just love your passion. I'd love for you to just share a little story about the students and having them, write their story and how they use the arts and some of that. I mean, that was amazing because that's something that if you look at how many students right now and people, and I'm a career educator too. I've been teaching at the college level for the past 20 years, and then own learning center. So, we're in that same boat. And just watching how to save one life, and you had an amazing story. So why don't you go ahead and give us a little bit of that?
Yeah, I was working with LA County Office of Education near my
Mhm.
home, right near Crenshaw and Jefferson. And so I'm teaching. It's a continuation school. You would call it a CDS, Community Day School. And so it's a two-room schoolhouse, beautiful program they had set up called the ROPE, ROPP, Repeat Offender Prevention Program that I'm teaching in, middle school and high school students. So I
Mhm.
asked a young man about college. Hey, have you ever thought about college? And he tells me, well, Mr. Carter, I don't expect to live past 18, so I don't even worry about things like that. And that just shocked me into a whole nother reality. Is, I'm trying to teach math and science and English and history. I have a kid who's sitting in the seat. His mind obviously is somewhere else because he doesn't fit. He could care less about the core subjects. He could care less about the curriculum. If he's 16 and he doesn't expect to live past 18. So I just kind of stopped everything I was doing. And I just had to rethink, man. I mean, because I grew up in that same community. This is Crenshaw and Jefferson. I grew up on Jefferson and Western.
Right.
When I was growing up, we were the opposite. We were thinking, we can't be hurt. Nothing's going to stop us. I can take a bullet. I can take anything, right? I'm going to keep going. And then here's a kid. His reality is in the same area I grew up in that, no, we don't survive like that anymore. We don't even think we're going to survive. I'm not going to make it past 18. So at the time, my son was, he was 6 at the time. He was in the first grade. That guy, he's now 28. So that tells you how long ago that was. Wow. And so he was working on a poetry unit in first grade. The stars are bright. The moon comes out at night. Everything's going to be all right. He said, Dad, I got this. Come listen to me. So he went over the poem and said, that's really cool. And then after I finished with him, I sat at the kitchen table and I said, man, I should write something for my students. I've always loved to write. Since I was in third grade, I remember back to third grade writing stories. Teacher, I thought he was picking on me, having me come up read my stories. But, our kids are brilliant. Even if you can recognize the brilliance in a kid right off the top. And which are basically all kids. Our motto is they're bright, brilliant, and beautiful. No exceptions. We just have to bring that out of them and teach them the difference between how they feel and who they are. It might not feel bright, brilliant, beautiful, but at your core, that's who you are. Do you have the courage to live that? So I have this kid. I get the idea to write the poetry. I write this first poem. It's titled, How Do I Change? Do I want to change or do I want to remain the same? And so I wrote the poem, put it on the board, told the kids, hey, look, we're going to start doing some poetry. It was kind of funny. And this was remember, court school, camp school, probation school. These kids were either had been incarcerated or were just getting out and trying not to go back in. So they're part of this program as conditions of their probation. Mr. Carter, we're not doing that. I said, you guys are going to recite it on Friday. So I wrote the poem on the board, told them to be ready. Wednesday comes, I ask them if they're going to, as I told you all, they didn't say nice words to me. We don't do that kind of stuff. So they let me have it. I'm like, okay. But with this program, their probation officers were housed at the facility. Yeah. And so I just went to each probation officer and invited them to the recital on Friday. And then on Wednesday, I asked them if they had the poem copy. They said no. I said, look, I've invited, your probation officers to the recital. So I don't know. When I call on you, if you want to get up there and say you're not ready and don't say anything, that's between you and your probation officer. Of course, they're going off of me, and all the names. You're a ranker, you're a mark, you're a punk, you this, that, the other. I might be, but I tell you what, I'm going to be the teacher on Friday. You're going to be the student, and your probation officer is going to be your probation officer, and I'm going to call you up to recite. So I hope you're ready. And then they started getting, as they were, saying those things, they're pulling out their paper and they're copying that thing off the board too. They had enough sense to do that. So Friday came, 80% participation. Kids got up. Do I want to change? Do I want to remain the same? I mean, it was really a special moment. Probation officer was there. She said, hey, that was really good. Where'd you get that from? So I said, just kind of writing it at my kitchen table. So she said, well, I have some other students on my caseload. I'd like to share this message with them. Can I get a copy? And so that sparked something. That Rob and Kimmy, that's where it sparked. Like, oh, really? Is if she sees the value in it, okay, maybe it's something to it. Yeah. So then Sunday night comes again, and I'm going, should I write for them again? Literally, I'm sitting there saying, what should I do? Was it just a one thing just to get them excited, or should I keep going? So fortunately, I kept going. So I'm sitting at the kitchen table on Sunday nights. And I was just thinking, when I was a kid, what were some of the questions I wanted answered? Who am I? Where am I going? The choices I make, I will become a success. Don't make excuses one of these days. So I just, is life a test? Life's a trip. When I die, I mean, so I'm just sitting here and so every Sunday night I'm sitting there, and it got to the point the kids full buy-in. And so on Friday they're asking me, what do you have for us on Monday? You have to wait and see, because I didn't know, because I'm writing it on Sunday night, Rob. I don't know. I'm telling you, oh boy, you'll see. And so I had no idea, and then I just sit there and kind of think about where they at, and I went right for the heart to connect with the students. 2.5 years I did that program, and with incredible results. And that's when the idea sparked to write a book. And my wife and I, we took some classes on. First, we tried to get published. Being an educator, I just looked at some of the books in the classroom and reached out to those publishers. They said, this is nice, but it's not what we're looking for. As things would happen, you run into people and say, hey, look, I ran into this guy, Belma Johnson. Man, I love Belma. He was with BET at one time. And the students were at a workshop at the convention center. We had taken them. Belma was one of the speakers.
Okay.
So I ran into Belma. He's just talked about his book of poetry. It was a beautiful book. I still have it. And so I go up to him after and said, man, I was really impressed with your workshop. He said, hey, look, I'm teaching a class on how to publish your book for under $200 at El Camino. I said, are you serious? He said, yeah. I said, give me the information. Give me your number. I'm going to be there. So I went there. Elmer broke it down from start to finish. And then I took another class from Dan Pointer, the late, great Dan Pointer. He published over 100 plus self-published books. My wife and I took a class from him. After that, we started on March 2003. We started Inspiration52 Publishing was born and birthed by the grace of God. We started our own publishing company. It's over 19 years ago. We published several authors too. A lot of authors we have published. We had the good fortune, and they saw our book and said, how did you do it? Where'd you get it done at? So we started a coaching program, and we coach others how to get their book done. And even my niece Katie, we coach Katie. Katie's so big time now doing her thing, but
yes, she is.
She came to Uncle Jay. Uncle Jay, I want to write a book. Can you help me? Of course. So we walked her through the steps, and so many others that are just out doing amazing things. So Inspiration52 not only touched the lives of students, but of educators and others who just wanted to get their books out. But let me share the story with you to how powerful it was. Wow. So we're at this 2-room schoolhouse. And so a student is there with his mom, his little brother, meeting with the probation officer. Mm-hmm. So I'm walking down the hall. This is after school. I guess they had a meeting or whatever was going on. Mom came in. I'm walking down the hall and I say, hello. His mom says, is that the one right there? I said, yeah, Rob, you're an educator, Rob. You're in trouble.
So, something's coming.
Because I'm not a traditional teacher, Kimmy and Rob. So, we had boxing gloves in my desk. So if students were having issues, let's go have PE right now. Let's go take PE. I want to teach you some techniques of boxing, and you guys can do your thing. So we're not gonna have a fight. Let's make it a lesson. So I mean, that was just one of the many things that I did, which probably had no business doing. But I do have multiple subjects credentials, so I am qualified and credentialed to teach PE. So let's say that for the record, right? And so I'm like, she said, is that the one right there? I said, oh gosh, darn, what did I do? And what did I say? Oh, and so Mr. Carter, the parent, would like to talk to you. So she said, look, you're the one that writes the poetry. I said, oh yeah, I'm the one that writes the poetry. Says, my son comes home and he recites it with me and his younger siblings.
Wow.
It's really brought our family closer together.
Mm.
And I just wanted to share that with you and let you know what your poetry has done for our family.
Wow.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that was amazing right there. So when we created our curriculum book, we created an intentional sheet where the kids would have to go home and recite it to their parent, grandparent, guardian, whoever, and they would check off on it based on that conversation with that parent. I mean, that made my day, that made my life. I couldn't have paid her, and this is in front of probation, and I couldn't have paid her to say those things. I don't know, I would have paid her whatever she would ask to say something like that.
Right. Just fulfilling.
She told me it's brought her family closer together because when her son is at home reciting, getting ready for Friday, that he's working with her and going over it with her, and she's hearing the message of the poem, and it's life changing.
Yeah.
Now, let me share this really briefly. So on Monday, I would put the poem on the board, and the students would have to select 5 words and tell why the author used those words. On
Yeah.
Tuesday, they would have to create a 6 to 8 frame comic strip with the poetry. So my artists, oh my gosh. So Monday, my writers, Tuesday, my artists, on Wednesday, the writers too, because we would erase the poem and just put the title up there, and they would have to create their own poem.
Nice.
And so then on Thursday, they would work in groups. So you're sharing your art, you're sharing your breakdown of the words, you're sharing the poem you wrote, and then plus you're going over the poem, collaborating. So Friday's recital, you're ready to recite it.
There you go.
And then on Friday, a couple of students said, hey, Mr. Carter, we've been practicing in the garage. We have a beat machine. Can we bring the beat machine in on Friday and do the poem? And so I said, absolutely, because I want you guys at home practicing. I will become a success. You always succeed when you try. Don't make excuses, right? Be yourself. Be the difference. The world is waiting for your gift. And so they brought that beat machine in. So we would just have the best time. And 2.5 years we did that. And so it was really special. And so now we're able to continue the work. We're still doing it. This past year, we worked with 3rd grade through 11th grade.
Okay.
Had maybe 10, 12 schools. And then we always culminate, since I teach out at Loyola Marymount, and that's the university that I attended, and my wife attended as well.
I hear that connection there now. Okay.
Yeah, so I went there and I teach there. So
okay.
So we culminate there. We take them all through the back channels of the college because we went there. And just, my wife and I, we met in 8th grade at Fauché, but we didn't start dating until 10th grade at Manual. So we both graduated Manual Arts High School. The only college she really wanted to go to was Loyola Marymount University. I had a couple other acceptances to USC and UC Santa Cruz. So I guess I have to do full disclosure since you're taping this. Recording this, yes, I followed her to Loyola Marymount University.
Good man.
Sometimes the story gets a little convoluted, and I say that she followed me, but since this is being recorded, I have to tell the truth on this.
Tell the truth.
Yeah. And so we take the students there. We took over 600 students just this past year to LMU during the course of the year, and got them excited about college and. Living on campus, once they see the dorms, the restaurants, and the swimming pool, 4th and 5th graders are like, man, this is it. And I tell them it doesn't matter where you go. It's always what you do when you get there. But we want to let you know that we have dollars for you at LMU. We're looking for students of color to be out here. And this, this is for you. You can earn this, and you deserve to be here getting a first-class education. So we try and make it, there's a big entrepreneur part of our of Inspiration52 as well. So we try and mix the two. Go to college, learn business, start your own business, or start your own business, go to college, learn business so you can continue growing your business. So we don't go to, like the old days, you went to college to get a job. No, we go to college to, to start our own business, right? To learn about business, to start our own business. So even my students who want to be rappers, hey, go take a business class, take a business law class so you don't get cheated on your contracts, so you can be a producer, right? You know how many we have at LMU, we have a School of Film and Television, and the guy was telling them, hey, look, you can create soundtracks. You don't have to be a rapper. Come learn how to create soundtracks. Every movie needs a soundtrack. Every TV show needs. You can make millions of dollars just creating music for movies. So it's exposure for our kids, and that's one thing that we try and do with Inspiration52.
Man, the Inspiration52 brand is big. I just wanted to, one thing that as we gone through COVID and everything like that, one of the things I'm learning, I'm watching is there's some really good sponsors out here. Some people that are actually cutting checks and supporting and branding, and I'm really happy about that. Who's been kind of someone that you could depend on that's really blessed you guys, and you came out with your brand and your idea, because it takes money, and sometimes you need other people's money to help you do the things you're doing.
Man, we've been fortunate. Lately, this past year, we got a grant from the Virginia Satir organization, which was really generous. But up until then, just Rob and Kimmy, as an educator, um, my big sponsors have been school districts, right? School districts, they have supplemental material funds, they have independent contract funds. So they see the value in it. I am so grateful for Long Beach Unified, LA Unified. But even then, believe it or not, my calling and my ministry was school districts and prisons. So I've worked in federal prison. I've worked in state. Inspiration 52. I tell you a funny story. I'm at this particular time, LA County Jail, Men's Central Jail was run by the sheriff's department. So their education department was run by the sheriff's department. Some kind of way I got connected with them, and so I'm in the prisons. I'm in the women's prison. I'm in the men's prison. I'm training the teachers in the prison system to teach Inspiration 52, and they're ordering books. So I go into Men's Central Jail, LA County Jail. When they close those gates, you go, oh my God, Jesus, help us, right? And you're just visiting, but I after visiting, I'm trying to do everything right, so I don't have to go back in any other capacity, but
right?
To visit, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But so we're in Men's Central Jail. I'm training the teachers. They say, oh, we're loving this stuff. And so they had ordered, just a generous, a limited amount, maybe 10 books, just to, as a test market. And so they're saying, oh, on the third floor, your book is it's amazing. Everybody on the third floor has a copy of some of your poetry. I'm saying, how is that possible? You only ordered 10 books. She says, well, look, we photocopied that thing, and that thing is just all throughout the prison system. I'm like, oh gosh, you can't do that without my permission, right?
Right.
So, but Kimmy, you know what the Lord said? He said, look, man, I allowed you to write this to make a difference. If they are up there and you're changing lives,
absolutely,
bro, I'll take care of you on the other end of it, right? I got you. I got you covered. You do what I tell you to do. I've got you covered. So school districts and prisons in Terminal Island Federal Prison, they contracted me out to come in and do a poetry, creative writing poetry with the residents there.
Mm-hmm.
These guys were so talented and gifted, man. I didn't even read my poetry. I just listened. Because when we went through that circle and they were breaking down their poems, I was, oh my gosh, it came to me. I'm like, I just want to listen to y'all because my stuff, it was not on their level, man. And I'm a prolific writer, Kenny and Rob, but my stuff was not on there. I so enjoyed that. So my biggest sponsors, LA Unified, Long Beach Unified, they see the value in it. LA County Office of Education, they brought me back in. Those districts I taught in, Compton Unified, Inglewood Unified. At one point, my wife and I, we were going up and down the state, and we had a Inspiration 52 program in over 50 different school districts. So I'm thankful that the school districts saw the value in Inspiration 52 and said, we want you to come and train our teachers, and we want you to come and teach and work with our students as well. So yeah, amazingly enough, and it's I would say this, school dollars going to a great cause, hard at work for a great cause. And here we are. I'm inner city. I'm as inner city as you can get.
Right.
35th and Western. So I get to come in and work with students. But at the same time, I was a gifted student. So I told them I want to work with gifted students as well, because I know what it's like to try and fit in, not to be as sharp as you are, so you won't get clowned. So you try and fit in, and you're okay with that, even to the point where you use your giftedness just to join the game, just to hang out and, and just.
Yeah, you want to be in that circle. Yeah.
Want to be in that circle. Right. So I said, specifically, let me work with the ones that need the most help and the ones that are at the top, because they need to know who they are too. With that giftedness comes responsibility. So, right. So I've worked with the Gifted Students Association with LAUSD, did some amazing things with them. UC Irvine, I taught in their Gifted Student Academy during the summer, and worked with gifted kids from all over Southern California, just letting them know who they are, stand proud, smile, and say, I will always be myself. Just great. I mean, it's just been a blessed time. And again, to answer your question, Rob, I'm really grateful that these school districts saw the value in it and contracted me out, paid for the book. I can't even tell you how many thousands of books are in circulation through Inspiration 52 because of the school district. Thousands and thousands since 2003, thousands of books and
Wow.
So
You know, it's funny. I'm gonna throw it to you, Kim, but it's funny you say 2003 because I started. I got started with the Learning Center in 2004. So it's funny the parallel there.
It goes
Uh,
by fast, brother.
oh man, I'm telling you,
And the difference you've made since 2004, like you said, even if it's just one kid, but we know it's so
Yes.
many more. And frankly, as kids, I did a, and Timmy, I'm gonna come to your question next, but I mean, I just get excited about this stuff. I started doing these conferences. That's how we got more exposure. So I went through the California, at the time, 2007, 2000, you go through the California Department of Education website and you look at the conferences for the year. And every conference that dealt with social emotional learning, I signed up as a presenter. I was fortunate enough to get my proposal accepted. So now I'm in front of teachers, and one teacher said, I saw poetry, so I came right in. So I knew that that was one of my, keywords. So in all my proposals and in my description, I would use poetry. So we did the California Community Day School Conference. We did it one year. We signed up to do it next year. So a teacher comes back. She says, look, these kids have gone crazy. They don't even think, I told them I was coming here to see you because I saw your name. They don't even think I know you. Hey, look, this was up in Shasta Lake. This was up in Shasta Lake.
In Shasta Lake? Wow.
Shasta Lake. She said, no, they told me I was lying. They don't even think I know you. I said, yeah, absolutely. So we got invited. We didn't get invited to Shasta Lake. We never made it up there. We got invited to Notomas, which is in Sacramento, near Sacramento.
Yeah.
The lady called and said, I don't know what you did, but our teachers say they got to have you up here. So what would it cost to get you up here to do some workshops and some trainings for our teachers and our students? So Trace and I, we did some traveling, and they caught me slipping though, Rob. They asked me the amount, the cost, and see, you're young, so you don't know. And she said, does it start when you leave your door or when you get here? Now, a veteran would say, of course, because I have to do all the preparation, the hours start when I leave my door.
Right.
But the novice says, oh no, I'm just happy to be there. It'll start once I get there.
Once I get there.
Yeah, they did pay for the hotel, they paid for the car, all expenses. They took care of my wife and I when they paid us for our workshops. But it's a big difference when you leave your door until you get back home and received. Being sponsored like that by a school district up north, then so we did things with Natomas Middle School. So we trained teachers, and then it was one of the elementary schools there. We got a call from Porterville. I didn't know where Porterville was. It's near Bakersfield.
Yeah.
Parent called, said, hey, I don't know what you're doing. The teacher's using your program. She met you at a conference, use your program. I don't care what it takes. I want you to come and surprise her. So we went down to Porterville, and just amazing things that.
At 99 freeway.
Yes, the 99, you already know.
Oh, yeah.
Porterville, we didn't know where Porterville was. I had to do a map quest and find out where it was. And it's like, it's never heard of it. Beautiful kids there, man. We videoed that stuff too. We had our video team with us. So that's in some of our videos, our documentary trailer and things like that. We had the class and some of the testimonials from the teachers. But it was just, and see, one thing that we know, the inspiration supersedes color. And I went down there. They treated me like my wife and I treated us like, we had our youngest daughter with us too. She was 4 at the time. She's getting ready to she'll be 21 next week, but she was 4 at the time. So I'm signing books. 4-year-old. Jael was 4 years. She's signing books too.
Oh wow.
She barely got a signature, but I say, hey, they wanted her signature too. Okay. That's so amazing. I signed books. My 4-year-old signed books, and just a blessing to make a difference. And this year was a great year for us. So it's just good to see that through the poetry, the music, the message, the heart, because we wrote it with our heart. We wrote it with inspiration from God. That it just, when you're touching people's heart, it's making a difference. And so, and really thrilled that it's still doing what it was. We all got into education to make a difference. So I'm just thrilled that I continue to get to make a huge difference with all the students that I work with.
That's
You're doing your thing. You are doing amazing things, and it's just incredible. Like you said, how time really flies. But the other part on the education thing is just having that whole ability to constantly change, right? Because what we're able, how we were able to reach people before, you know, they're a little bit different now,
Yeah.
and so I'm watching at how to engage, and it's so funny because I think the most difficult group that I've dealt with in the pandemic recently was like the middle school ones,
Oh
because
my
they
goodness.
get to that certain point, and then it's you know, they get to a block, and it's like, well, wait a minute, man, understand that this is really a you problem. It got
Yeah.
nothing to do with me. I used to have that problem, but after a while I figured out that I had to get over the fence. Now I can help you with that you problem that you're having, but you being upset really has nothing to do with me. You need to be find a way to motivate you, and I will help you, but you got to do the work, you know. And after a while, they sit there and they look at you and they're like, okay, maybe, yeah, it is a me problem because you know, I can do this math that you can't do, you
Right.
know, and they just, you know, we have to give it to them in different ways, but it's you know, the kids nowadays, and as you know, we're coming up, we didn't have the challenges, man. When it was a very simple life, hey, man, everybody knew the golden rule. When the light, you know, hey, when the street lights come on,
You
you
go
know,
home.
Get home.
You
Yeah.
better be
get
ready.
home. You didn't have no, you know, we had no cell phones. You had a sneaker network, man, that could, if your mother was looking for you, you might be 5 miles on a bicycle somewhere. The
Right,
word was gonna get back to you somehow, man. You
right.
know, because you want to face that extension cord, the
The
belt,
switch, the braided switch.
That was
the
the
Hot Wheels track.
Oh yeah, those Hot
village
Wheels. Yeah.
raising. It was the village raising
Yeah.
Yeah,
difference.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
it is a difference. And one of the toughest assignments I've ever had was working with a group of about 30 young men at the middle school level.
Okay,
So you're right, Rob. So I had to shift it. They're not just going to sit there. This was during their advisory period at a middle school, and so this was maybe, well, I can know exactly. I can just backtrack because I just ran into two of them that are seniors now in high school. So what's that?
Wow.
They're eighth grade, so 4 years. So this is 4 or 5 years ago. So, but what I did, and I would meet with them 3 times a week, and that 2 times we would do academia. The middle of the week we would do sports. Since we were
okay.
right outside by the field, we would go out there. It was amazing because they went out there. I saw them pick their teams. I saw them get along. I saw them do plays. And I said, look, you guys got organization, you got leadership. I saw uh, cooperative learning. I saw everything. I said, now I need you to transfer those skills inside the classroom. So then they had to earn it. I saw bonding. I saw who the leaders were. It was a sixth grader that was leading. He was quarterbacking, uh, and he was leading both teams. Whatever side he was on, he was a leader there. I'm saying this little dude, but the guy saw his leadership skills, and I saw it. So of course I used that in the classroom, right? So 2 weeks ago we were at El Pollo Loco, and as we're
Okay.
standing in line, I'm telling Tracy, I said, "Hey, look, that's one of the Tracy." But we took them to LMU. We said we'll never take a middle school to LMU again. Those kids were out of control, man. They embarrassed us that day. I mean, but just the middle school, they could care less about anything but themselves, right?
Right.
So we took them there. They were talking when the professors were trying to explain them things. They were clowning around. They were laughing, but they got exposed, right? And so
Hmm.
it was so we never forget that group. So we're in El Pollo Loco. I said, Tracy, that's one of the kids. Remember we worked with this middle school. She said, I said, Tracy, I guarantee you. Of course, Tracy, I'll never forget this kid. So when we come up to order, I come up and then we make eye contact. He just starts laughing. So, Mr. Carter, he just started laughing. I just, because they were that, dude, you guys were that group. Okay. And he said, yeah, he said, I was a knucklehead, but he said, I'm graduating. First thing, I'm
Awesome.
graduating Milliken High School. And I told him, and I couldn't remember. I said, I saw your other buddy at Roscoe's the other night with his girlfriend. I looked up on my phone. He said, yeah, he's at Milliken. He said, we're both graduating. He said, yeah. He said, man, Mr. Carter, I was a knucklehead. He said, I'm thinking about going to the Air Force though. And I encouraged him. I said, man, look, go to the Air Force, see the world, get your education, make it
Yeah.
work. I reminded him of the video we took. We videoed them doing their poetry and their own writings. And so we were just laughing and laughing. He texted me with exchange information. I told him about our scholarship program. So if he needs anything, scholarship sponsorship program that we do through Inspiration 52, reach out. He texted me back. He said, man, thank you for all that you did for us. Right. So we didn't think, Rob, we didn't see it then, but 4 years later, fast forward 4 years, here's this kid graduating from high school.
Right.
Headed to the Air Force and saying, and remember, Mr. Carter, never forget you. Thank you for what you did for us. So even in middle school where it gets rough, and I was a middle school assistant principal for 3 years, so I get it on a lot of different levels. And I run into those kids all the time. And it was great kids there too, in addition to the ones that need the most help. There was some great kids at that middle school, man. And they tell me things, man. We run into them all the time. Mr. Carter, you're just great. You were the great principal. I said, no, I was assistant principal. Mr. Carter, you were the great principal there. Everybody knew that. Everybody knew who was in charge there, right? But my principal empowered me. So I'm not going to take any credit from her. She empowered me. Mr. Carter, you run the school. And if I said a kid had to go because they're just not a good fit, because they don't understand what we're doing here, when I put that file on her desk and said, Miss Terry, we've done everything we could. This kid has to go. She'll look at that kid and say, look, Mr. Carter say, if Mr. Carter can't work with you, if he says you have to go, it's nothing. You can't, it's nothing
you can do.
It's nothing. If Mr. Carter brings a file in my desk and say you have to go, it's nothing. I can't even, I'm not going to overrule that. So empower, we run the kids into the store. You know that we're educators. We're running the kids in the store all the time. And, just says thank you for what you did for me. I got tons of stories. So we're in Trader Joe's. And I tell my wife, there's one of the kids that I work with Inspiration 52. She was a great writer too. I told the young lady, I still want to publish your book. You got to get your book done. Kimmy, this girl was, her poetry, she was middle school. Her poetry was off the charts. I even saw that. The whole class saw it when she shared. So let me try and make my story short because I like to make a long story longer. But when I get up to her line and she sees me, she just started, oh, Mr. Carter, you came and you worked with us at the time in my life when I just was really needing a role model, needing some encouragement, needing some just some direction in life. She said it was just so important to have you in my life at that time. So then she starts crying. We're checking out at Trader Joe's. She starts crying. Wow. I'm with my wife and we're with our youngest daughter. So so I'm trying not to tear up. And I just told her, I said, are you still writing? So we exchanged information. Asked her if she's still writing. I said, she said, I'm still writing. I said, you should, because it was just some great things that you produced even back then. She said, Mr. Carter, I've gotten better. I said, I can only imagine, right? So when we get out in the parking lot, my youngest daughter looks at me and said, Dad, that was pretty cool. Dad, what you did for that young lady, Dad, that was pretty cool what just happened right there. So, okay, yeah, it was pretty cool to see her. And she's supposed to be checking us out, but she's crying because just the impact that this person had in her life and the impact she had in my life, I'll never forget her in her writing. So it's a beautiful thing to take ministry outside the four walls and realize that it's most impactful ministry will probably happen outside the four walls of the church. There's lives out there just waiting to be touched and to be loved and to be validated and affirmed, right? So that's what I really try to do each and every day.
Yeah, bless him.
That, and I personally, I say thank you, because we definitely need, on a different level of education, it's very critical. So we thank you for your service, for stepping out and allowing God to use you in the way that He has for you to be used. Where can people find your book?
Oh, look at that! Oh, this greatness! Yes,
have my copy.
And I didn't even get one that day. I was so mad.
Yeah, we'll have to change that, Rob, for sure. But they can go to my website. Please go to inspiration52.com.
Okay.
Inspiration52.com, or we even connected a link with it as well. Another website, brightbrilliantandbeautiful.com.
Okay.
Brightbrilliantandbeautiful.com will redirect you to inspiration52.com. And please order it from me. I just got to order, if someone ordered one of my books through Amazon. Amazon takes 50%.
They sure do.
I say that it's a prestigious. Like, yes, I'm on Amazon, but they're taking 50%, which
Yes.
Rob doesn't include the shipping and all that kind of stuff. Even though you send it medium now, you still got to package it and ship it. So you get a few dollars afterwards. So please, if you're interested in my book, please go to inspiration52.com
Okay.
or brightbrilliantandbeautiful.com. And then sample some of the music that goes with the poetry. That's just been great too, because we have students analyze lyrics. And then, my lyrics might be soft, so I have them bring in their lyrics from their favorite song. And we're sitting there, we're talking about what type of impact do you think these lyrics have on your life? So it gives me entrance and access to their life and what they're listening to. Because I said, your favorite song that you listen to 3, 4, 5 times a day. And we want to analyze those lyrics. And some are embarrassed, especially my high school students. Mr. Carter, Professor Carter, I'm embarrassed to bring it in because of what it says. No, I want you to bring it in because I want to know you and I want to get to know you and move you from point A to point B. And music is a big part of our life. Everybody loves music. So it doesn't matter who you are. Bring in your favorite song. Let's listen to it. Let's analyze the lyrics. We're going to analyze the lyrics of the Inspiration 52 song. And then let's go from there. Let's create illustrations. Let's create dialogue. And let's create a relationship. I'm not going to judge you based on the music you listen to. I want to know you.
Right.
So, that helps me to get an insight. And then I get to share the music I like and introduce you to some other type of music, right? Some other genres of music. So yes, thank you for asking.
Thank you. We thank you so much for joining us on today. We definitely gonna have to get you back on because you have so much knowledge.
Man.
And we it touched my heart. When I was sitting in the room, I got so much knowledge from you, and just the book alone it just boiled my heart to do even more. So I thank you so much. We have the opportunity. Make sure you when you go on Facebook, you check out The Office. Everyone, we just want everybody to go in, check The Office out. Make sure you connect with us because that's where people can connect with you personally. They can check you out and all of that. We want everybody to go ahead and subscribe. Make sure you push that like button when you go to so you can get the notifications. So we just thank you today. We appreciate you. We do have one announcement on tonight. We are going to be in the city of Fontana, 6 p.m. at Bulldogs Grill and Bar. So we want people to come on out. Make sure you guys come on out, check us out. We're doing our mixer on tonight, and so we want people to come out so they can introduce other people to their businesses. So I'm super excited. So
shout out your business, folks. Come on out and hang out. You don't have to stay all night. We're gonna be there a few hours. We got some gift cards, some raffles.
Yes.
We got some music. They got good food there. It's going to be a good time, and just like Kimmy was saying, go to the BGG, and when you find it's going to be the Office Business Growth Group. So the Office BGG, sign up there, and like I said, it's a private group, and the reason being is we don't want a whole bunch of mess, and with people just going crazy, and we're in Facebook jail every day. So we want to make sure that, hey, just come on into the private group. And there's a way for you to interact every day. So Monday is Merchant of Money Monday. If you're a merchant, you have things there. Jerome, put your book in there, please, on Mondays. And if you have something you want to make the deal of the day on Tuesday, put that in there. Wednesday, we're going to get back to wind down. We're probably just going to do it twice a month because it got to be a load. And then Thursday is going to be Thought of the Day Thursday. And we're going to be giving out, everybody post your thought of the day, something very nice. And Kimmy's going to do something that day. She's going to select a winner.
I am.
Right. And then they will receive probably a gift card or something. You'll get that. And then Friday we'll have CEO days and mastermind groups between Friday and Saturday from time to time. So there's a lot to offer here, and we're doing a lot of this. It's really for entrepreneurs and personal growth. If you're just looking at figuring out, hey, I'm in this industry, or I just graduated from school. I'm trying to find my way. Hey man, come on in here. Get up some of this knowledge. Come to some of these events. Come to some of these trainings. We're gonna have some free trainings and other stuff. And then and then you got guys like Mr. Jerome here, okay, who is a professor, who's bringing his wisdom and knowledge to the table and sharing it. And this is where you're gonna find that wisdom. So just come on in the house, spend a little time with us. All right.
Love it.
Awesome.
Hey, thank you
So
all for having me so much.
no problem. Thank you so much. And on that note, BGG, we are
BG
out.
out. All right. See you, Jerome.
Yep. See you next time. Be blessed.